Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Buckley, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about one thing you need to be doing to make your sex life even better. Now, maybe you're doing it, maybe you're not, but here it is. Add a lubricant. Now, the thing about lubricant is it's very misunderstood. A lot of people feel like a lubricant is only needed if a woman can't get wet, and that if a woman isn't wet, she must not be aroused. Or if a woman is wet, she is aroused. You know what? None of that is true. The reality is that a good lubricant can enhance your sexual pleasure all the time. But which lube do you use? There's water-based lubes, there's silicone lubes, there's oil or oil-based lubes, there's hybrids, there's natural lubes, there's ones you can buy at the grocery market, there's warming lubes, tingling lubes, cooling lubes, long-lasting lubes. You name it, they're out there. And sometimes we may not be making the best choice. So which lube do you use? And why is it important to use a lubricant? Like I said before, we don't really know if a woman is going to be wet or not wet, or if she's aroused or not aroused. And even if she is aroused and she's wet, if it's going to last. The reality is that lubricant will make sex feel better. Now, water-based lubes are great because you could use them with condoms, you can use them with toys. They're pretty safe in that regard. They're not going to ruin any of your toys or break down a condom. You don't want to use oil-based lubricants with a condom. It can be problematic if you don't want to get pregnant, or an STD. Now, some people say you should never use silicone on a silicone toy. The jury's still out on that one. You know, if it's a really good toy, a well-made toy, high-grade silicone, and you have a good lubricant, it's probably not going to do any harm. But if you want to be safe, you can never go wrong with the water-based lubes. Oils are probably also not going to cause a problem on a silicone toy. If you are liking these videos, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and like the channel, because it really does help support the channel and it means really so much to me. The most important thing is to find out what feels best for you. Now, water-based lubes, some women have irritation. There are some things in there that some women respond to, or men. So, you want to be careful about that. Some people have no problem with any lube that they use. They can get KY, whatever they get at the market, it works fine. And some women and men are very sensitive to some of the chemicals because there are some chemicals in a lot of lubricants. So there are some natural ones out there. Good Clean Love makes some really good ones, as well as Aloe Cadabra. Those are water-based, and for the most part, you shouldn't have any reaction. Now, we also have CBD lubes, and they can be kind of interesting. So again, it might be worth a try. There are lots of women who are reporting that they really like it. I even sell a CBD-based lube on my website. It's a good one. If you want to try it, go check it out. So again, lots of different choices. One of the problems with the water-based lube also is it can start to get sort of dry and sticky. And what a lot of people do when it starts to dry out and get sticky, they just put more on, and you don't want to do that. All you need to do to reactivate it and sort of get it wet again is just add a little bit of water. If you add some water, it reactivates it, and you don't need to keep putting more on. It just gets goopier and stickier. So that's a fact that a lot of people don't know that I think is really, really helpful. Silicone lube is really great for shower or water sex because it stays on, as opposed to the water-based, it'll wash right off. And it stays slipperier longer. And a lot of people love a silicone-based lube. Not always good for your sheets, but again, look for the ones that you really like. I personally recommend coconut oil or oil-based lubes. I really like it. My clients love it. You get yourself a nice organic virgin oil, coconut oil. You can use it to massage your body. Feels really good, and most women don't have a problem with it. Again, you want to check your own body and see what works for you and what feels good for you. But it's nice. It's not really oily, like baby oil or something like that. It's more of a dry oil. Although some people are confused. They're like, well, some jars, they're solid, it's white. And some jars, it's clear. What's the difference? They're the same. It's just one of those oils that is really sensitive to temperature. So if it's just a little bit cooler, it'll turn solid. and then you just warm it up a little bit and it'll turn to liquid. So you can just make sure that you get a separate one for your bedroom. You know, we use coconut oil for everything. It's good for our hair, it's good for our skin, also good for sex and good for our vulva. Keep one separate for your bedroom, and if you get the tub or put some from a jar in like a ramekin or a little jar that you can, you know, warm it up with your fingers and take it out, it's really lovely. Great for vulva massages, and it just is nice for everything, to massage everything. And it does make sex feel better. And every time you smell a coconut, you'll have a trigger and you'll start getting horny. And you won't even know why. So it's just fun to be able to try different lubricants, see what works best. But I will tell you, if you haven't been using one, you're missing out. It definitely makes sex more enjoyable. I will say this. Stay away from the cooling and the warming lubes. They're not good for you. And if it's a lubricant that has glycerin in it, you probably want to stay away. And try to avoid glycerin and parabens and, you know, anything that you feel you don't really know what it is. Again, there are some really good options out there. Good Clean Love, Aloe Cadabra, coconut oil. There's a lot out there now. Do your research, try some out, and let me know what you think. Let me know how it impacts your sex life. You can go to my website and I will be able to answer any questions you have about any toy, about sex, about relationships. Anything that you want to know, please ask me, because I will answer. And there's also a link below that you can click on and you can leave me a voice message. I can then put that voice message in my podcast and I can answer it that way, or you can just send me an email and I'd be happy to answer you that way as well. But I do want to answer your questions. I want to be here for you and support you any way I can. So go try some lubricant, try some sex toys, have some fun. That's what sex is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.